Welcome to the Be Encouraged Show. I am Lisa.
I'm Frank.
We are so excited about today's show with H.B. Pasley, a growth advocate, and Richard Pearce, an amazing business attorney.
Yeah, he's a corporate attorney, and HB is going to really share with us about how rebrand gave business his voice back. And Richard, oh my word, structuring a business and how structuring a business saves it from costly mistakes. So aren't those some wonderful topics?
Yes, we're very excited, so please listen in.
You're hitting the ground running with these people who have amazing ideas and no money, and that's okay, right? Any client was an opportunity for me. When businesses are failing, that's really tough. Businesses that have succeeded, I've got one in the healthcare world, growing, and now they struggling with some rent payments, maybe struggling with some tax payments. I do think business owners need to anticipate start thinking about their biggest risk, right? Is it your business partners?
Yeah.
Is it your clients or customers? Where is your biggest risk?
They thought she was going to ask questions like, what color do you like? What texture do you want your pillows to be? You know, my wife will ask questions like, tell me your 5-year business plan. Tell me who your ideal client is. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish and who you're trying to attract.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Be Encouraged Show, Colorado's voice for growth and good. I'm Frank.
I'm Lisa.
Yes, you are. And what else are you?
So today's show is sponsored by The Hive. The Hive connects visionaries with the service providers who can help bring their ideas to life. So whether you're building a business or looking to help someone chase a dream, The Hive is here to help you find the right connections. Visit thehive.vision to learn more and check out the flyer that we provided you guys later.
Yeah, I inverted that, and that's quite all right, because you know what? Today, we are joined by two leaders in our community, and we're so incredibly happy to have them, who help businesses succeed from the inside out through story and through structure. So welcome, gentlemen.
Yes, welcome.
HB.
Well said. Yeah, Pasley.
Pasley.
You got it. Close enough. It's hand grenades and horseshoes with my last name.
Yes, it is.
Not an issue.
Yeah. So here we're going to start out, gentlemen, with this. HB, I know you're a beautiful bride as well.
Yes.
Man, you picked good.
Yeah.
I did. I found out this morning that you're beating us in the marriage Olympics by a few years, but we're trying to catch up.
Okay.
We're 30 years working on the next one.
Well, I'm hoping you don't catch up. So I'm dead, bro.
Didn't think it through.
Now, starting with you today, HB, what is the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome in your journey today?
Well, thanks for starting with a softball, Frank.
Yeah.
Do you treat everybody this way who comes in here?
Absolutely.
You asked the question. So the greatest challenge I've had to overcome in all of the major chunks of my life have been overcoming a natural tendency I have to consider the mission more important than the people who are in it. I've done it since I was very young because I've always been visionary, leader, pioneer, start things, And I just watch over my track record. There's hopefully it's going like this, Richard, descending in intensity. But when I look back to stories where I made the biggest mistakes or could not accomplish the goals that I had were because I wasn't able to care for people and move at their pace. I was always interested in my pace and the outcome of the thing. So this may be common for other pioneers, or I just may be the biggest poopy in the world. Yeah. It's trying to keep it safe for the podcast.
Family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly podcast.
Thank you.
And being married does help a lot. And frankly, spending time with other great people who are really good at caring for others helps me train, because it may not be my nature to be as empathetic. I may have written a book on empathy, but that's because after many, many years, I've learned how important it is, and I've had to just work hard to overcome that, to care for people more than the project.
Wow.
Right on. Well, Mr. Pearce, we are asking the very same question of you.
You had a warm
Okay,
up.
thank you for giving me some time. For me, professionally, as someone who's helped start up 2 law firms now, managing people has been the hardest thing about professionally about owning and running businesses. Humans. Like as an attorney, it's the tax analysis of what kind of company do you start with, or do you use a stock purchase agreement or an asset purchase agreement, and all the things I can geek out on the technical side. None of that prepared me for having employees that have their own agendas, have their own goals, have their own needs, and it's far too easy for me, and I think probably is the case for a lot of attorneys. It's far too easy for us to be focused on the next billable hour and not focused enough on how do I grow people at my firm? How do we get them into new roles? How do we help them add skills? How do we make sure they're happy and want to stick around? How do we make sure they're motivated to give their best each day? Because it's easy I'm intrinsically motivated. Like, I'm going to show up, I'm going to do my thing. But not everybody's wired the same way I am. No. And so that's been the hardest part for me. It's and I thought I'd be good at it, which is kind of funny. Yeah. Because I did the whole JD and BA thing. So I took all these undergraduate and graduate level business classes on these areas, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be great at running a business. And I'm not. I think I'm better at practicing law, and I've got to figure out still how to run the business piece.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
Chew glass every day, figure it out, but get better.
Where's this chew glass piece
It is a
from?
thing.
What is that?
I mentioned it on last
It's a thing.
All right, HB, so you've made branding all about telling a winsome story. So what first convinced you that story, not just logos or visuals, is the heart of growth?
It's a great question. It reminds me of a conversation I literally just had this morning with a business owner who is the new CEO of a well-known firm in the area, and whose job they've been tasked, obviously, to set strategy, to of course, win clients in the future, but most important, as a new leader in the firm, this person needed to win the team itself internally. Relationship building, team leadership, those kinds of things. Now, for many, many years as a business coach and a leader, I never would have used the B word in a sentence. Why? Because if I say branding, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, Frank?
Well, I'm on the same page as you, so business cards and visual does not.
Great. You weren't going to fall into that trap.
I was not, but
the person I talked to this morning, when I asked them just to define that in a sentence, they said, well, I know it's got to be more than this, but I think about logos and fonts and colors. And I went, well, that's why I never bring it up. Because I was made to join leadership who are trying to conquer new things. And I think strategically, I think I assess problems quickly, and I love overcoming. And there's nothing like winning new relationships, new clients, new business. For me, that's all super jazzy and fun. Yes. So I started working more in the branding space recently because my wife is a commercial interior designer. Yes. Many businesses that come to her, just like this business owner came to me for some coaching and advisory work, they come to my wife ready to upgrade the look and the impact because they want to win more clients, or they want to make a better impression. They have business goals. Yes. They're really not trying to be cute. Right. Okay, businesses don't spend money on interior design because they want their kitchen to look better, right? And I'm not making fun of people who need better looking kitchens. Yeah. Your kitchen looks great. Yeah.
You passed.
They come because they want to look better, but they start having a discussion. My wife will ask questions like, tell me your 5-year business plan. Tell me who your ideal client is. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish and who you're trying to attract. They thought she was going to ask questions like, what color do you like? Yeah. What texture do you want your pillows to be? Right. Because we're not sure how to deal with an interior designer. So I joined her team because I can help elevate that discussion. Yeah. So my work in branding is, do you have a story to tell, business owner? Are the people that you want to hear you tell that story, are they hearing you? Are you getting a message across? Mm-hmm. And are you going to achieve some business goals if you go about brand strategy in this work? It's going to help you focus and achieve. So that's what I love about it. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
I feel like I ran at it and then just started thinking about different things. Okay.
Yeah, because you're unpacking their story that they're wanting to tell their clients while they experience their business. So yeah, you answered
You
it.
answered it just at the beginning when you asked me what would I think about branding.
Yes, exactly.
That's true.
Well, not everybody uses the word story. I thought your intro for Richard and I were great because we both work in story and we both work in structure.
Yeah.
He might naturally be better at structure than I am because that part of my brain didn't develop fully. But I do love order and process.
Yes.
Story is not a made-up narrative or something cute. It literally every business owner and every business team have brought their personal stories to their work.
Yes.
And great teams learn how to share those stories together so that their values start to converge and find some harmony and resonance. Because stories are what inspire us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't remember the details and the bullet points of almost anything anybody says, but if they tell us a tiny piece of their story, we remember it.
Oh yeah.
So I think every business actually has a story, but it starts with the business leadership.
Yes.
It then comes out of the culture, and then it becomes infused in the business story. So that's my job as an advisor, is to help pull those stories out and put them to work.
Indeed.
Nice.
Indeed. Yeah. Was so much alignment there.
Yes.
You know, with the way I treat business as well. So thank you for articulating something that Southern black guy couldn't.
I didn't know you were from the South. I should
He
say.
doesn't have a twang.
I grew up in Alabama, and I think Frank is pushing my buttons right now.
I've lived in Alabama and Tennessee.
Well, this
I
one
love the
moved
South.
from
Yeah,
Tennessee.
I'm from Tennessee.
Oh, where?
Right on
Where?
North Carolina.
Okay.
Where is
Chattanooga.
Yeah, yeah.
Chattanooga? Oh, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Chattanooga. They have
Yeah.
the best caves.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
Yeah,
my favorite
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard, you've practiced law for 20 plus years now, my friend. What drew you into advising entrepreneurs, and why does helping them see the big picture matter to you?
Yeah. What drew me initially to helping entrepreneurs was, as a young attorney, right? You're just trying to find opportunities. And so back in Chattanooga, I would volunteer at the small business incubation center that they had there. And so I was probably, first or second year of practice. And you're hitting the ground running with these people who have amazing ideas and no money, and that's okay, right? Any client was an opportunity for me, and sometimes I grew with them, and it was great. And plenty of times, you help them just in that setting for 15 to 30 minutes, and that's it. But I, from that, loved being part of the journey with clients. To me, that's the most rewarding part. Is you don't have to come in at the first floor, but being on that journey with them for years and years and years. You help the client get started and get that right entity in place, get the operating agreement in place, and then maybe whether it's 6 months, maybe it's 6 years, but you'll hear back from them, and they're in that next stage. Now they're bringing in a partner. Now they're selling the company. Now they've got some employees. Maybe now they've got a problem, and that probably leads to the second piece, which is the comprehensive planning is so important in the early stage to prevent those problems, right? Like it's the, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure type of idea. If we can help clients start off the right way, then we've significantly decreased the odds that they're going to call back with a problem and the severity of that problem when they do call back. And so, especially since I don't do litigation anymore. I got, my motivation is to keep them coming back for business deals. If I cause a fight, or if I do something down the road, don't help the client in a way that results in a fight, that's sometimes that might mean could have done some better planning. Most of the times, it just means probably maybe we could have been a better touch along the way. Most of the time, it's it's not something that's within my control, but still, I'm not going to be able to serve them in that battle the way I could have served them along the way to help prevent that.
Right. And
So-
business law is really hard to navigate. Obviously, there's a lot of tough situations. Can you give us a real-time example of like one of the biggest, toughest challenges that you've had to help a client with?
Oh gosh.
You don't have to name names.
Of course,
but,
yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah.
I think when businesses, and this is happening a little bit more recently, when businesses are failing, that's really tough. And businesses that have succeeded for years and years. I've got one in the healthcare world that growing, and for maybe overgrew at a time when some things are going on with healthcare and reimbursement rates, and now they, struggling with some rent payments, maybe struggling with some tax payments, and I didn't know some of this was happening.
Yes.
I'm helping them with that lease. I'm helping them bring on the investor, and now I see that it's starting to fail, and I'm trying to help them through it, and it hurts. It hurts me. I know it's hurting them so much more, but I feel horrible for that situation. So that's probably the toughest thing for me is I want everybody to succeed, right?
Yes, yeah.
And when they don't, that it still hits home.
Yeah.
I'd love to underline something that he said that just stuck with me because we've talked about this before. Richard mentioned the timing of, I wish I could talk to the business owner at the beginning of the process.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's because it's sort of like being a football coach. You don't want to be called onto the field in the fourth quarter having been outside in the parking lot for the first 3.
Right.
It just makes it harder if you're a coach at heart. Now, most people don't refer to their attorneys as their coach.
Right.
But he may have a few clients that may actually call him coach or strategy guy or guide or pastor. I don't know what they call him. But I know him as my friend and I know how he treats people. So Richard's one of the few attorneys that I'll recommend to a business owner when I think that it's before they've even met the next level of problems, but I can see them coming. Because I know it'll do him a favor and them a favor if he meets them soon. So I'll make introductions to Richard all the time. I'm like, hey, this is a business owner I like. Let's go ahead and start warming up that conversation. Let's play a round of golf, show them how awesome you are.
No, not golf.
And I just think that really helps a lot. And it's good to know people in business that you can refer or introduce early because they're not just for emergencies anymore. Great attorneys are not just for emergencies anymore.
Right.
I like that tagline. I had to say it twice.
It's
I practiced
really
it. Is it okay?
Yeah. It segues well into this new question I'm ready to ask you as well, because consulting often means stepping into messy branding or leadership challenges. So what's been a defining moment for you when you've helped the business rediscover or discover for the first time its story?
Oh. Ooh. A firm that I have loved helping has been a client of mine over the last 3 or 4 years. Now, we haven't been continually month to month, but like Richard would develop a relationship, then the next thing happens, and so I could help with a thing, and then the next thing. For them, it wasn't like we were inventing their brand messaging out of the blue. They had been running the company for 10 years. They had 10 or 12 employees. They were making $4 or $5 million a year. This is a successful small business that was full of consultants. But what they realized, they'd hit their problem on what we often call the growth plateau. We're doing everything we used to do. We're doing it just as hard as we used to do it. But now our lead flow has sort of just tapered, and so we don't know how to get to the next level now because we want more cash to do this project. We'd like some more flow to do that. So for me, the joy of that project was actually not coming in and reinventing the wheel and not even really showing them anything they didn't already know, I guess. It was investigating all of their sales processes, all of their messaging, sitting with the whole team and doing discovery. And for me, this is fun, right? Because you're looking for the treasure. You're trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And we discovered, and I'll tell you the practical outcome. We discovered that they already had relationships with many other industry professionals in their field, but they had never considered them sources for new business. Which is very interesting to me. In many business columns, everybody considers their professional colleagues sources for new business.
Right, exactly.
But in this column, they didn't. They considered their clients were these beautiful families that came in for consultation and service. But when we discovered that, they literally had over 500 people in their CRM who were industry professionals in their field. They had never once decided to create a systematic, structured relationship building approach to get those people into a position where they could refer new business. Now, you can imagine this is a slow growth one, okay? So after I finished a 90-day contract where we discovered this and started implementing it, first there were just grunting noises coming out of the team because I'd ask them to do a bunch of new things. They didn't even like me that much. 6 months later, I'm having dinner with the owner, and she says, I have 2 things to tell you. The first is, I've never had as many referrals coming in the door, new business in my lead pipeline in 10 years. Mm-hmm. Yay. Second thing she told me was, it's because of what you made us do.
Bam, bam, bam. Amazing.
No, I don't know if the story was long, but for me, that meant a lot. Because I was co-working with the team to discover what they already had, at their disposal, and that was fun for me.
That's awesome.
So HB, beyond the branding and you guiding leaders, and I love how you do culture and client both experiencing together. What happens when a business aligns its story with how it actually treats people?
I know this is a novel.
Magic. Yeah. Softball question. Tee me up real hard. You want to answer this for me?
You can handle it.
Well, the first thing that comes to word is authenticity abounds. We all know when somebody's trying to sell us something.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they're benevolent and they love us. Like people who sell things are often the best people in the world. They
Absolutely.
love the things. So you think... Nobody wants to be sold really anymore. We want to trust people and we want to find the things that we need.
Yep.
I think when people begin to align their story with their mission, their story with their team's activities, and when it all starts to harmonize, people just realize this whole thing is very authentic.
Yeah.
I think is the word that they would use. Mm-hmm. I believe them. I don't even need them for their service, but I still want to be their friend.
Yeah.
I may even ask them a question that's unrelated about a different industry just because I trust whatever they'll tell me. Authenticity builds trust.
Yes.
And trust is how most of our, especially if we're in an advisory profession, we don't grow because we spend a bunch of money looking cute on Instagram. We grow because we build trust, show competency, and when people trust us, they might introduce us to someone else.
Yeah.
And I think authenticity is one of the first steps in building trust. Is your story, your look, your feel, your process, everything from top to bottom. Is it all agreeing with itself so that I understand from the first time I meet you, I pretty much know how this is going to go.
Love it.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons I love branding, because I went with your wife to Story Coffee, and she did the work of Story Coffee. Now the look tells the story.
And it's incredible.
Right?
She did a fantastic job.
I'm married to it.
Yeah.
I'm married to it.
Richard, you often serve as outside general counsel for people. How does providing holistic counsel, covering contracts, tax, and planning, change the trajectory of how a business moves forward?
Yeah. I think it goes a little bit back to what I mentioned earlier, in that we're able to make sure all the ducks are in a row on the structure, on the legalities, how they're contractually interacting with employees, with suppliers, with customers, depending on the nature of the business, right? With the owners, an operating agreement, partnership agreement, whatever that is, might be the most important one if you have partners. We're getting all that off on the right track, right? And so when problems arise, those documents are your playbook. And it doesn't mean that in the real world, the vast majority of the time, you don't go back and look at those, right? You and your partner, your business partner may just shake hands, share an email, and don't even look at the operating agreement for years.
Right.
But inevitably, right? True is true. Yeah. And same thing with your suppliers, and the same thing with your customers, right? Your contracts are often your emergency plan,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so if we can provide a holistic approach of what all do you need, what are you going to run into over the next few months or few years, what problems can we pre-solve, or at least anticipate and try.
Yeah.
You can't perfectly pre-solve them, but we can have a plan with these documents and with the right structure in place. If it's a tax-related thing, we can hopefully save them a whole lot of money in the long run. And those operating agreements, like I'm helping four gentlemen who are they're coming together. They're going to buy an office building. They've got a tenant ready to move in. They're trying to identify the right space, right? But they know who's going to be their tenant. But it's four unrelated folks that are going to buy this building together. So we're going through who's putting how much money in, who's going to get what ownership, who's going to have what vote, who's going to handle day-to-day operations.
The
What
tough
happens if you disagree?
conversations.
Yeah, we have a list of
Yeah.
20, 25 things to go through. right? What's the exit strategy? What happens if somebody dies or gets divorced or files bankruptcy or gets thrown in jail or gets mad and wants out? Like all the things that can happen.
This is real stuff.
Yeah.
We're trying to anticipate all of that and have a plan. And that makes operating agreements kind of awkward because we're like, what if this person is the bad guy? What if this person, you're not the bad guy, is the bad guy? But
It could be. I've tried.
you've got to go through all that and get pretty real with each other. And that's in the dating stage often of the relationship. We're talking about the divorce.
Wow.
And so it's not always pleasant to go through that, but it's important.
So, Richard, besides that operating plan, I want you to give some advice out there to what is the business owner's one step they can take that is going to right now help them what's one legal or structural step they can take to strengthen their foundation? Like they're already in place, but their foundation's laid, but how do they strengthen it? An easy advice out the gate.
If you don't have an answer, I have one.
We'll start with you because I'll
call
get
Richard.
you technical.
There you go.
Okay, now number 2.
Go.
Right.
I have a number 2 if you don't have one.
You can keep going. And
Okay,
I'll go
number
after
2
this.
is, if you thought the first one was being funny, and I was going to ask you this question, so I'm sidebar, between Richard and I are having a conversation right now. Like, you don't want to be the one and done guy because you're not built that way.
Right.
So you do this huge operating agreement, and I know what's happening in the back of your mind because you just implied it was, we really need to have some sort of regular touch point on this thing. Like just a review, something that keeps it fresh so it doesn't just go into the dusty archive, right, and get brought out at emergency moments. What's been the thing that's been most successful in trying to create additional touch points? Like how do you overcome that being relegated to history with a client that you know you need to have touch point with? Like what have you figured out in
Right. It's really helpful if I will just pester them every once in a while. And it's not billable, right? I don't bill to just check in. And so it doesn't cost them anything, but we closed a deal this morning on a dental practice before I came out here. And in a couple weeks, I'll shoot them an email, just say hi or a text. How's it going? And maybe a couple months, I'll send another one. I'm not asking for work, right? I just want to know, is it going okay?
Right.
And then if I stay on that dentist's mind, then when the employee maybe has a problem down the road, or when he's ready to take on a partner, or when we need to review his client-facing agreements, patient-facing agreements in his case, he'll think of me. But that's part of it.
I teed him up perfectly. You see
did.
that? Because he
Well
answered.
done.
But what I wanted to be able to get to for the business owner was, and you still have an opportunity for yet another
my
answer,
answer,
okay? Is that I would any business owner who asks, how could I firm up my structural integrity, my document integrity, my legal integrity as a firm? I would say, well, have you talked to your attorney in the last quarter? That'd be my very first question.
Right.
If they haven't, I would say, open your CRM, go set a quarterly reminder to just call your attorney and say hello. You don't even have to have a job, and if he starts billing you, you can yell at him or make fun of him or do whatever. But just create in your own system an opportunity to talk to your attorney. If they're good strategists and not just document makers, they're going to enjoy the process of learning more about you and being part of your journey. And that way, you won't get caught by surprise. Now, that was my advice. I could join your industry and just advocate for you people.
A lot of people are scared, though, of the fees. So
Right.
what is something tangibly that you can say to them out the gate as wisdom, as a business owner, to lay a strong foundation somewhere?
And to not be afraid of the money.
Yeah.
Or the,
I do think business owners need to anticipate start thinking about their biggest risk, right?
Very good.
Is it your business partners?
Yeah.
Is it your clients or customers? Is it a key supplier that you're overly reliant on for your success? Where is your biggest risk? And then hopefully that is somewhere that your attorney can help you mitigate that risk.
I do a session called "The Only Ship That Doesn't Sail Is a Partnership," right? Because they end so badly, so often, right? And talk about that. So having you is so very important in that space. And not only that, what struck me was I called them and say, "How's it going?" And so how many attorneys do that? All right? Yeah, you must be a Southerner.
Yeah.
Prop it up.
Southern hospitality, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. HB, for leaders who feel stuck or how to present themselves, what's one step that they can take right now to tell a more compelling story than they're telling currently?
Oh, easy. You just start thinking about the things that you loved when you were a kid, or big events when you were a child. Things that were rewarding, or like your greatest success and your greatest failure, usually before you're out of high school. Why? Because I have never found anybody who couldn't, if they can just tell one story about how they, like I dropped the ball, and I was playing right field for Mike's Pharmacy, by the way, and my little outfit, I was such a skinny little kid, my hat looked like it was 2 feet tall on my head. And I tried so hard, I didn't understand speed, distance, athleticism, or coordination. The basics, I didn't understand it. But I wanted so badly to catch this ball that was coming to me in the outfield, and it hit my glove, literally bounced out of my glove onto the ground. And I saw my short life flash in front of my eyes. What am I talking about right now? I started telling my story. What am I answering?
Oh,
I literally striked out. I'm 59.
Your story was so intriguing.
Childhood. Yeah, no, I got it. I even got lost in my own story. Well, what I realized from that was that I was born to compete, and it embarrassed me not to do well. But I also suffered from some sense of failing when I was coming up. I had a lot of these sort of wish I was more athletic moments than I was, you know?
Yeah.
And I realized, you know, there's something, I sort of understand what it feels like to be a little embarrassed or a little ashamed. And when I work with business owners, I find that there's a lot of things we're not doing well, but we don't know who to talk to. We're a little afraid to talk about it. It makes us feel small. I love working with business owners that want to be honest. But the answer to your question is, sorry, I got so lost in my own, I haven't told that story, is that if you can just learn how to tell a little piece of your childhood. I grew up in so-and-so. I played on the so-and-so team. My favorite coach was, okay? One of the worst things that ever happened to me when I was a kid was, of course, on the lighter side of things, we're not mentioning death, divorce, or things that really cut you, okay?
Yeah.
But there are things that you, like me dropping the ball in the outfield. If you can tell a story about where you failed when you were a kid, everybody will be your friend, because everybody's more acquainted with failure than they are success at a heart level.
Yes.
And we need friends that'll be honest. So I think that's always step number one. Be honest about your childhood. Be honest about the things that you didn't do well at, and you will win more friends and become more authoritative in your space.
You will indeed.
Mic drop. HB, everybody.
Yeah, when I met Robin, the first story I asked her was, tell me your story.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone that I meet, I do that
Yes.
too, because and they intuitively give me their resume.
Yes, they
and
do.
That's
Oops.
not your story. Yeah, and
Well-
we circle back, and it's really, really stories are so. And we live in a story brand culture.
Yes, we do.
It's true.
But a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
They're still stuck, like you said, in the resume mode.
Absolutely, it's the default. Right? It's the comfort, right? Let me
Right.
tell you the degrees I've earned. Let me tell you, you know, it's, when I made big splashes, and my certificate and my certification, and on and on. So, well,
Right.
that's wonderful. I'm proud of you, but it's not a story.
Stories always have relationships, and you said it perfectly. It's always relationship before resume in my world.
It's so true.
And when I meet people who can't talk about their relationships, I'm not going to be comfortable normally in a professional setting, though I still might make you smoked ribs or some other treat and be nice to you.
Well, if you tell you all your story, what else are you going to make?
Yeah.
Invite me, brother.
I was just
We
thinking,
love food and wine.
I was just
love wine.
reminiscing about our most recent client party, and the ribs turned out great.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, Frank, I gotta say, my key takeaway today with HB and Richard, you guys are just huge advocates in this community. You're resourceful, you're creative for when business owners can't think of what their next need might be. And I think that is incredible, because that's what business owners need.
Yeah. And mine, Lisa, and you, I mirror what you just said. But with Richard, for me, it was like, this is not what you would think of when you think of an attorney engagement.
Yes.
This is different. This is what, you don't have to be afraid to engage this guy. He's really, 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 really interested in your outcomes and what he can bring to the table to make it work for you. And I didn't know, because this is the first time I've heard you at any length, right? That you were so strategic, and you can see the wheels turning on thought, the way to get people.
Yeah, a lot of people expect almost no thought from me whatsoever. I'm just arm candy,
Well, you're
basically,
very
for Robin.
casual looking, right? But you're super creative.
I knew that wasn't what it was when you brought in a notebook and started making notes.
Yeah.
It's because I lose my train of thought. I forget where I'm at in the story, and I have to make sure I know
Right?
where I'm at.
Yes.
Well, with that, guys, we are running down in time here. Richard, starting with you, I want you just to look at that camera first of all and tell humans this world. Encourage them. Give them some encouraging words and tell them how to reach you in your breath.
Okay. Not all attorneys are trying to bill, every second of every interaction. There are plenty of great attorneys here in Colorado Springs that just want to help you succeed. Our firm is certainly one of those. Our firm is Cook Rector Pearce. You can find us at www.crp-law.com. We're located at I-25 in Woodman, just off the exit there. And again, not necessarily our firm. Most of the attorneys I work with here in town are great and care about your success.
HB,
Well done.
Your turn.
Well
sir.
done. I wish I was a part of your firm.
Encourage the world.
I am so glad to be a part of this conversation today. And if you're a business owner and you've been listening to Frank and Lisa, I know that you've already received a lot of encouragement. I'd love to assist you if I could. If you're out there making an impact in the world and you care for people, I can almost guarantee you that I'll be very interested in caring for you a little bit, because that's the kind of businesses that I move toward. I'm really pleased to be working closely with my wife these days. After 30 years of marriage, we've done all kinds of different things in our journey, but we're coming back together a little bit now. She is the best commercial interior designer, I was just going to say in the city, but I would say in the whole world, because I'm married to her.
Yeah.
I think she does some incredible work. You can find our work together at PasleyCommercialInteriors.com. My last name is spelled P like pretty good. ASLEY, commercialinteriors.com. And we do branding in this firm. We do interior design for businesses only, not residential work, so don't call me about it, Frank. And we're also a commercial furniture dealer. Some of the stuff we've been talking about today is, yes, I do offer coaching services as well and advisory consulting for business owners, but I do that when it's time to do so. I think my first step is to help business owners tell their stories well, build their authenticity, and go out, frankly, and increase their lead flow. And so I think that's the best connection. We are, I remember you mentioned your address, so we're officing in North Tejon, downtown, 616 North Tejon Street. And our business phone number, which you're welcome to call, 719-472-3111. Human beings pick up the phone there and would love to chat with you and hear what you're working on, whether it's an interior space or just business growth issues you have here. And I bet this podcast goes all over the world, right? New Zealand, Australia, the UK.
Yeah.
We are global. So you can call us from anywhere, and if we can't help you, I'll refer Richard, and if he can't help you, we'll send somebody from your state.
And by the way, I didn't mention this, and you probably didn't know this either, but they played, they're professional musicians, both he and Robin, and they played the crowds for many, many, many years.
Oh, do you sing too?
I did one time,
Oh,
and I received a get well card.
that would be me too. Yes.
Hey,
I don't sing.
Richard and I are alma maters from the same university, Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama.
Samford,
Birmingham.
yeah.
It's a buzzword today.
And we were sort of, Richard and I met and had some conversations about that music career, which for me was very long, my wife and I. That's another story, Frank. That's a different podcast.
Totally.
Because there's all kinds of things.
We got to bring you back.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So,
back in.
yeah, both Robin and you. I love for those
Yes.
stories about music that come out. We're going to have Robin soon.
Yes, we're very
Yeah, on
excited
this
about
show,
that.
aren't
His
we?
better half.
Yes. Much better.
I mean,
Tune in. You need to get the date on that episode.
We're sponsored by Brandon Kirk from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, with his 3 children, are just incredible. I know them personally. We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years, been married to, what is his wife's name? Gaba?
Gaba. And she is a beautiful artist, and yes, they have an amazing farm as well. But he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing, and we sure do appreciate him in town.
And one last thing, you know, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So they really are.
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Look up Planet Duck.
So that's it for today's episode of the Be Encouraged Show. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and LinkedIn, and listen in on our stories over at beencouraged.net.
Indeed, because we are to Be Encouraged Show, where we infuse hope and encouragement into community with organic conversations with incredible humans like we've had today. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have real talk, real growth, because we're real Colorado.
Stay encouraged.